Hi, this is Eric from Cafe Watercolor. I have a painting accepted into NWWS Watercolor Society Annual International Open Exhibition. It was quite an honor to display my painting alongside with many other great artists and masters. This is the painting that was accepted. It's called Weekend in Victoria. Victoria is probably my favorite city in British Columbia. Every time I visit there, I feel very relaxed and the time seems to move slower. During the process of this painting, I used some new techniques. This painting is also one of the paintings that I try to do something different by spending more time on refinement and details. So the acceptance of this painting feels like a recognition of the direction I am going. It has been a very long time since I was part of a physical art show, so I was very excited about it. So today I will share the process of this painting with you. Hope you enjoy.
Okay, so let's take a look at the process of this painting. So because I knew that I'm going to spend a lot of time drawing, I decided to just paint the sky first. Because the sky is something that's very easy to mess up because I have limited time to do a nice soft sky and with all the wet onto wet and things like that. So if I spend hours doing the drawing and then mess up the sky, that means I wasted a lot of time. So that's why you see me pre-mix the color and I do the washes very, very fast, trying to get that nice soft cloud. And it's also very late in the afternoon, so the sky is actually close to sunset. That's why you get this wonderful pinkish, purplish colors and things like that. When the wash is still very wet, you can go back with a paper towel to lift some of the paint so you can get some light back, and also do some soft edges that way. So fortunately, the sky turned out pretty well. I actually like it, so I go ahead and continue on. So after I'm done with the sky, I just go ahead and do a overall big wash for the building and the water. They are just colors of the light. I am not painting any sort of detail at all. It's just wet onto wet, putting some colors on the paper while I still can. And the reason I do a full wash is because I don't want any hard edges except the edge of the cloud. So I waited for the wash to be completely dry and then I go back in to do a fine drawing. Now I do want this painting to feel very refined with a lot of details. That's why I start to use rulers and you look at me draw almost every single window that I can see. It's very boring to watch, so I'm just going to skip it. And the reason I want to make this painting so refined and so detailed and so clean is because I actually painted this scene before, and if I keep it very loose, I don't feel like I do the scene justice. That's why I decided to paint the Empress Hotel very refined and detailed. The loose part of this painting is going to be in the reflection and the boat. So here's the part that I do a little bit of a technique, which I make the masking tape to mask off the area that I'm going to apply the masking fluid. That way, when I remove the masking tape, the masking fluid is going to be perfectly straight because I want to use masking fluid to preserve the light of the poles, the mast on the boat. I also applied some masking fluid for the sharp reflection of the pole and some masking fluid for the bright window. The windows on the right of the building is reflecting some bright sun, so I want to preserve those as well. So now I'm starting to paint the background building. So I work by sections. I still want to connect the shape as much as possible, so I start off by working at the building on the left, connect to the trees, and then the building behind the trees. And I try to connect the shape as much as possible so that we can keep the shape connected and fluid. I will paint around and leave a little bit of the white and details. I'll paint around the boats for now. And now I'm painting the Empress Hotel. The Fairmount Empress Hotel in Victoria is an iconic building an iconic landmark. I stayed there a few times. Absolutely beautiful hotel, very comfortable. When you walk around the dock and you see the Empress Hotel with all the boats in front, it's just like a very iconic scene in Victoria. Victoria is definitely one of my favorite cities in BC, Canada. I love there. Whenever I go there, I just feel very relaxed and chill. I feel like the time slows down when I'm there. Probably because most of the time when I'm there is for vacation. I had some wonderful memories with my family and friends. So it's a very special city for me. It's not a big city, but every time I go there, I enjoyed it so much. So you look at me painting kind of slowly, paint around the light windows. But during my wash for the building, I also try to vary my color a little bit. So you see some yellowish colors, some cooler colors, and some more sort of red color that is the local color of the wall. So this is something that I start to do more and more whenever I do a big wash in a single value. I try to mix in different colors so it looks richer, it looks deeper, even though the shape might be very simple. And now I shift down and start to paint the first wash of the boat. Preserve some highlights and start to paint what I consider the middle value, but maybe a little bit lighter. So that's why I do a very refined drawing, because I want to know exactly where I'm painting. The thing about doing a painting like these is that it starts to feel like I'm doing a coloring book. So that is why it's very important that I make the color a little bit more interesting. And like I mentioned before in one of my previous video, I am always in love with Japanese anime. And when you look at animations by places like Studio Ghibli, those very beautiful backgrounds are very detailed, but also very lively. And that's the type of feeling that I want to convey in my painting, that you get to see enough details and believability, but it also feels like it's from a storybook almost. It gives you this very calming, peaceful feeling. At least that's what I want to offer to the viewer, offer to you. So after the wash is dry, I start to go over and start to paint the value a little bit darker. So whenever I do a video, people tend to ask me to explain the color that I use, which is pretty hard to explain because a lot of time I just mix color completely intuitively. So I will grab whatever color that looks right. So in this case, I use a mixture of burnt sienna with a little bit of orange, a little bit of red, and I will just work it out on the palette until I see the color that I want, and I start to paint it. My palette is really not that big. There are a couple of the color that I rarely use, so it always come back to maybe 6 or 7 colors. I did explain my color palette in one of the previous video, I believe, and it's also in my course. But I don't really mix color by formula. I like to say that I mix color with my eyes, because I just grab whatever color that I need, and when I get the color I want from the palette, I will use that color. Now I continue back to the buildings on the left, painting the tree. So I give the tree a second wash, and while it is still moist, I go back in with some darker values to give some volumes for the tree. That wet onto wet softness is exactly what I need. And I start to paint the detail for the building on the left. Now, this video is sped up quite a bit. I spent probably almost about 5 hours to finish the whole painting, including the drawing. So you are watching it sped up quite a bit. If I show you the real-time recording and I paint every little window, it's going to be very, very boring to watch, and you will probably fall asleep. Now, I've been told that my voice is very sleep inducing, which is fine. I like putting people to sleep. I think we're living in a sleep deprived society. That being said, that's not the purpose of my video, so that's why I sped up a lot. And by looking at this sped up, you can see the process a little bit easier, I think. Because when I'm painting, my mind is already maybe 2-3 steps ahead. So I know the process, I know the steps that I'm going to go through. Especially for painting like this one, which is very tightly controlled. Especially for the upper half, which is all the man-made buildings, all the structures, and the boat. Now I grab my pencil again and start to draw the reflection of the boat. And I go back with a masking fluid and start to mask off some of the highlights that I want to preserve. So the bright highlight of the windows and the masts. And now I grab a larger brush because I need to finish the reflection shape in one go. Because if I do it too slowly and break the shape and let the shape dry, or worse, if I paint too slowly, I can start to introduce cauliflower edges for the reflection, and that's definitely not something that I want. So in this case, using a bigger brush like the one that I'm using right now is kind of a synthetic squirrel hair brush from my brush set. It has a very sharp point. It is versatile enough that I can make bigger shapes and also paint smaller details while I'm doing it. So you can see how clean the reflection is. Because during that wash, I also need to mix different colors and slightly different values. I just added some dark on the right while I still can. So as I'm painting a single shape, reflection shape, I also need to mix different color within that shape. So it does feel like the reflection of the buildings from the above. Now while waiting for the reflection wash to dry, I go back to the buildings, to the Empress Hotel and start to paint darker values. So the rooftop and some of the smaller details in the windows and things like that. Now I am not going to go as dark as the photo. One mistake is that you try to match the value range of the photo, which is very, very hard to do because first of all, the camera will usually process the image to make it look more contrast and punchy. But that's actually not always how you look at the real world. And also, watercolor is fundamentally a different medium than photography and is going to look different than when you look at a photo from a computer screen or a phone screen. So you don't want to pursue the same amount of contrast as a digital photograph. You want it to work for your painting. So when it reaches a certain amount of darkness and you think it is enough, then it is enough. Don't compare to the photo one-to-one. That's not the purpose of a photo. It's just a reference for you to see the color, the composition, the shapes, and the basic values. This is actually the second time that I am painting this subject. The first time I made the mistake trying to match the contrast of the photograph, and it turned out very dirty and muddy. So this time around, I be extra careful, try to maintain the cleanness of the image, while having just enough contrast to sell the structure and the value and the light. So now I'm switching to a smaller brush and paint the little details in the building. The smaller shadows to show the thickness of the windows and things like that. Now those are the part that I start to go a little bit looser. I am not using any rulers, I'm not using any sort of tool, just little speck of details here and there. I just need enough information to make it look refined. So I continue to work on the side. There's a dark tree on the right, and dark bushes and things like that, and that is why the reflection underneath is much darker. And I continue the dark value on the boat. Again, connect the shape whenever I can. but dark shape usually don't have as much connection than the middle value. So now I start to paint the dark shape of the boat and also extend those dark shapes to the reflection, so the shapes can be connected. And this is the part where I made the decision that the reflection of the buildings behind all the boats are going to be much lighter, and I will preserve the darker reflections for the boat, which is in the front. This way I can show the depth in my painting a lot better than the photo. And I think this way it actually looks better than the photo, because if you look at the photo, the reflection is very, very dark. While it does have a very punchy contrast, if I try to copy that over to my painting, that's how my painting is going to become very muddy and dark, and it's going to lose a lot of the light. So always think about, what are you going to adapt from the photo reference? What are you going to change? You are painting your own painting, so do whatever works for your painting. Have your own vision of your own painting, not to simply copy the photo. And arguably, that's the fun part of painting, because you make your own decisions and you come up with your own vision, and when you execute, you get to see if your vision works. So it's not just about mixing color and put it on the paper. It's also about coming up with your own vision. And this is why I still prefer to do my own painting. With all the AI technology and things like that, it's just too fun to just give it up and let AI make that decision for me. So here is the finished painting. So after remove the masking fluid, you can see all the clean mast and poles and how the highlight shows up in the reflection. I hope you enjoy this process. I know the process itself is kind of repetitive and dry, but hopefully you enjoy this video. And again, it's such an honor to have this painting selected into an art show alongside with many of Master's painting. I hope you enjoy this video. Have a wonderful day, wonderful Thanksgiving weekend wherever you are. I am Eric from Cafe Watercolor. See you next time. God bless you.